Hello. So today we are going to be going over pages 13 and 14 in your Ready book, which is the Refine Ideas about Rigid Transformations and Their Properties. So go ahead and open up to page 13 and pause this video until you get there. Alright, now that you are to page 13, a quick little refresher. So remember, our translation is what slides a figure from one place to another, like this GIF here. Our reflection is what flips it over a line. So like we have our first reflection and then the second reflection. And finally, we have our rotation, which turns a figure around a given point. So these are the three types of rigid transformations, which again, never change its size or its shape. So Louise says that figure Y is a rotation of figure X. We need to figure out what his error is. So a rotation does not change the size or shape of a figure. Figure Y is larger than figure X, and therefore it cannot be a rigid transformation because it changed its size. Now for the next part, we need to explain whether these two are reflections or not. So for this first one, we can see yes, it is a reflection. If you fold along the line of reflection, so this dotted line here, the figures will align exactly. So this point will match up with this point will match up with this point, etc. And the corresponding sides are the same distance from the line of reflection. So we could say this point is equal distance here as this point is to there. For the second one, no, these figures will not exactly align if you fold along the line of reflection. So it is not a reflection. It's actually a translation. They are just sliding it over. They are not flipping it. We can tell because this point here is a lot closer to our line of reflection than this point here, which is its corresponding part. So this one is not a reflection. It is a translation. For the last part, we have Czar translates figure P to make Q, and we want to figure out what it would look like if you moved it 4 units to the right to make figure R. So if we have figure Q and we're moving it 4 units to the right, we'll take these 3 points and move them all 4 to the right each. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. Move this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. Move this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can see our figure R is going to align exactly where figure P was exactly. So figure R will be exactly on top of figure P. If you translate this figure 4 units to the right, you end up in the exact same spot where Zara started. For our next part, we are now on page 14. So we have this original figure C here. We want to figure out which of these are rigid transformations of C. So figure D we can see is a rigid transformation, figure F is a rigid transformation, and figure G is a rigid transformation. E is too small, so it shrunk, so it's not the same size, and H is too big and it changed its shape, so this one is also incorrect. So this one changed its shape, so it cannot be a rigid transformation. This one changed its size, so it cannot be a rigid transformation. We know that these 3 are rigid transformations because we can compare the side lengths with the original figure and the angle measures with the original figure. You can also check the parallel lines to make sure they remain parallel. So like how this line and this line are parallel, so is this line and this line, this line and this line, this line and this line. So you can check that they are parallel, that they are 2 units apart, that the angle measures are the same, and the side lengths are the same, and therefore they are the same. So these are rigid transformations. So figure D here we can see as a reflection of figure C, so it's flipped. Figure F is a rotation, so they rotated it 180 degrees. And figure G is a translation, so they just slid it down here from figure C. Again, if at any time I'm going too fast and you're not being able to write this all down as the video goes on, just pause the video to finish writing and then click on pause. Last one is we want to perform a translation, a reflection, and a rotation of this figure. And then we're going to use words and symbols to compare. So if we want to reflect this figure, we would reflect across our line of reflection and get this image here. If we rotate around our center of rotation point, which is right here, we would get this triangle here. And then if we translated, which means we just slid it over, we would get this triangle here. So again, figure DEF is a translation because it's just being slid over. Figure GHI is a reflection across our line of reflection because each of these points are the same distance from the line of reflection as its corresponding part. And triangle JBK is a rotation around point B. And we know this because they all have the same shape, they're all the same size, and they have corresponding sides and angles, which means that their sides and angles are the same measure. So A to B is 3, just like how G to H is also 3. So that's its corresponding sides. We can see angle A here is a 90-degree angle, just like how angle G here is also 90 degrees. So that's how it has corresponding angles. You don't have homework tonight on this, so go ahead and work on your iReady today and tomorrow, and then you will have your Friday check, so your quiz over all of this on Friday. That is it. Have a good day, and bye.